All right. So we're back a bit earlier than expected, as a commentator was needed for the Tier 5 race of tonight, and I offered to step up. So that's why I'm here again. The second consecutive day. Yesterday we had Tier 3. Today we're gonna do Tier 5 for the very first time. So I am very excited. And I hope you are as well. Take a few minutes before we can start off. Still missing a few drivers, but we've got the time. So yesterday, yeah, Tier 3 race was a bit chaotic, just a bit. It can't really get much worse for today, but maybe I am the curse. Maybe me as a commentator makes everyone forget how to drive. Who knows, we're gonna find out after tonight. But anyway, it is Singapore again, obviously. Round 8 of the season. And looking at the Tier 5 standings, we've got the two Kick Saubers at the top, with Wizard and Kelston are our championship leaders, and they are racing tonight. They are separated by 4 points. WA Brewdog, he is 14 points off the lead in V3 in the Red Bull. And surprisingly, Sauber is not leading the constructors. Red Bull is in fact at 182 points over Sauber's 168. So it's getting close between those two teams at the top as well. With only 5 races remaining. Will come out on top. "31 laps ahead of us. I wonder if we're gonna see any rain involved, because in both the Tier 2 and Tier 3 race we had rain at the end. Not sure about Tier X or Tier 4 or Tier 6 to be honest, but chances are there. Weather. We still wait for 4 drivers to join up. as per usual, 18 minutes of qualifying to determine the grid, but as we have seen yesterday in Tier 3, qualifying absolutely does not matter at all. Because the top 3 did not start inside the top 5. In fact, if you look at the results, Alpha Impel, the race winner, he started in P9, Soul Demon finished second, started P14, Hasa P3 started P11. And none of the drivers that started inside the top 5 finished inside the top 10, so anything can happen, especially around the narrow street circuit that is Marina Bay. Hola! Hola, hola! Welcome to the stream. Lap times in qualifying, what could they be? Tier 3 yesterday you had a 26.4 as pole time. I would be surprised if we get into the 26s tonight. A low 27 would be very good, I think, for a Tier 5 pole position. "19 in." And an exciting grid. We're only missing but I guess he will join in qualifying. Right, it's time to get ready for set qualifying. Good luck, everyone. And let's see what times we can do. Here we go. Will there be rain? Or will it be dry? I can tell you it's gonna rain. And it's already raining in qualifying. And it doesn't appear to be drying up anytime soon. It's pouring it down quite a bit. So there goes any practice to anyone as wet qualifying. I doubt anyone practices in the wet. We've got our 20th driver. This is going to be interesting. And nobody's gone out yet. So Keinson is already put on the intermediates. As well. Just in Spain, T-Rex was a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think. You could go for the inters. Because they are pretty similar to the wets. Wets are still a bit more stable in these conditions, and I was able to take pole position on the wets compared to drives on inters. So you know, you don't know, you never know. It's okay. So anyway, Porsche Boy is the first one to go out on the intermediates. Go out at all. It appears to be a wet race as well, so we're up for something delightful there. Early go at 1. Don't put it in the wall on your outlap, mate. Just keep it nice and clean. Oh. Don't really have to warm the tires. The inters and wets. I mean, it's already 70 degrees, which out of the pit lane with 70 degrees, so no need to take risks on the outlap, but he is drifting quite nicely. Preparation of his first flying lap. More people start to go out. Our out laps as Porsche Boy is about to start his lap. In the Visa Cash App RB. Mike is already left. Let's hope he gets an in-fight back. That's one way to start your lap, as the RB all out of shape coming out of the final corner and having moments as well through turns 1 and 2. It's very, very slippery, as you can already see. Wets might be the better choice then to start off with, at least. Unable to get the power down at all. At the end of sector 1. And there are a lot of drivers who are on the wets. Let's take a look at the tires actually, yeah. So Porsche Boy, he is the only one out on track on the intermediates. Everyone else who was gone out is on the wets. So we are going to see the difference immediately as the times start coming in. Down into the hairpin. Pretty tricky with acceleration in the dry. But he has kept it out of the wall. I'll give him that. But definitely not without any struggles. Down into the final chicane. Very awkward with the curbs. Really throw you off in the dry and even more so in the wet. But he has handled it pretty well. And around the final corner, is he going to have a big snap again? Not this time across the line. And the 1:46.448 is going to be the first time on the board. Who is up next? For a lap, it might be Mr. L, although he has invalidated. Same for Leon, or Basic Beetle in the Mercedes. Look at Real Aston Army. He is going to be the next one to set a lap time. So both of the V-carbs, the first out on track, one of them on inters and the other on the wets. And Brewdog and Punisher are also coming out on the inters. Find out what they can do, but for now, Real Aston Army is a bit too slow at the moment, although Wizard Oz on the wets goes fastest with a 44.9, 1.5 seconds quicker than Poshboy already. As the gaps are quite big in these conditions. Leefdijk in P5 a couple of seconds off. Sure, he had a few moments on his best lap. Don has gone on to second place. Kelston in the other Sauber into the top 3. Just under 9/10 of his teammate. All on the wets as well. XTYZ then up to P4. 9/10 off, and then it's Daniel onto the front row, but still over half a second off Wizard's lap. Comfortable in these conditions so far. So Ultimo in the Aston Martin. 8. And his teammate, Mr. L, on another attempt. This time has kept it within the white lines. As well for his final lap. And he does so, and he goes onto the front row with a very good lap. 45.1. 2/10 behind the Sauber. The Punisher, it says he's on the ins, but he is on the wets, as Mr. Ellis has received a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Bahamut Zero. And the latter, he was on an outlap. So was he in the way of the Aston Martin, I wonder. But the Aston Martin driver is left with a 5-place grid penalty. That's not an ideal way to start off your day. Will start P6 at best. Have to make up some ground in the race as XF Gullit across the line. 44.6 on the provisional pole position by 2.5 tenths. No, and that is more like it. That's Reese Max a bit wide going into the hairpin. And it's Porsche on the intermediates, 1.2 seconds quicker into the 43. So are the intermediates quicker? That is the question. He's the only one out there, and he is the quickest man on track at the moment. Punisher up to P6. And then we look at Matt Harris around the final corner. So on the full wets, and he is a couple of seconds off P15 at the moment. Like on a good improvement, half a second up. Still split. Struggling a lot though through the chicane. As he comes around the final corner. Goes a bit wide, but keeps it narrow actually on the exit. And improves by 7 tenths in the end. Enough to put him in P13. Max just started his lap, but he is already invalidated. And his teammate, High Legends, is now on the lap as well. Neither of them have set a lap time yet so far. Bahamut Zero seems to take the blame for the incident with Mr. L a few moments ago. Unfortunate. In the meantime, Daniel back onto the front row, but still 8 tenths off. An intermediate runner. Are we going to see more drivers putting on a set of intermediates as one of the Williams drivers all out of shape just ahead of Iron Legends? It was Dave Dyke into the hairpin, nearly into the wall there, but he managed to save it and keep it out of the barrier. Basic Beetle on a second improvement, goes from 10th all the way up to P3. Ladies. Matt Harris has improved as well, up to P11. Legends across the line to the front row, and that is the intermediate tire then. The second one on intermediates, and he's on the front row as well. So intermediates seem to be the quicker tire, as the only ones who have set a lap time on the inters are at the very top of the field. Still, many drivers are out there on the wets, and in the meantime, Wizard of Oz has changed to the intermediates. Let's see what he can do. Did a very good lap time at the beginning of this session on the full wets, and he's already improving by 8 or more than 8 tenths through sector 1. Now on inters. Finding the limit in these conditions. It's very tough around a circuit like this. Pretty comfortable riding on board with the Sauber inputs, and you can see in the times 2.7 seconds improvement through sector 2. He is going to go to the top for sure, and by quite a distance as well over the rest of them. Mike has gone up to 8th position on the inters. Switch it back to Wizard of Oz. Legends now to the top, 43.1. But here comes Wizard of Oz across the line with a 141.4, 1.6 seconds clear. What a lap to put it on provisional pole position. And is anyone going to be able to match that lap time? We'll find out. WA Brewdog yet to set a lap time, but he's on the intermediates and he is about to finish his lap. Let's see what he can do. The man third in the championship. And it looks to be a very good lap time. 141.2, and he's on to provisional pole position. So as soon as I say if anyone is going to beat the Wizard of Oz lap time, Brewdog comes out of nowhere and beats it on his banker lap. 41.2. Incredible effort from the Red Bull driver. Put it on the front row on his first outing. And with 4.5 minutes remaining, we'll see more and more drivers putting on the intermediates, as they are clearly the better tire at this point. There we go. Kelston is on a lap as well. 2.8 seconds up on his time. Currently P12, but he is going to improve to the front row most likely if he keeps it up. Not quite the front row, but into the top 3. The 142, the 0. Putting the Sauber squad back into the top 3 with both cars. But Helmut Zero has invalidated, unfortunately. He's coming back into the pit lane. Nearly Psycho across the line. P4. So 1.5 seconds off. Enough to put him on the second row for now. And his teammate has switched on to intermediates as well, about to start his first lap. So we'll look at Mr. L around the final corner. Across the line goes to provisional pole position into the 140s. Half a second clear. What a lap. And the track seems to be drying quite quickly as Boy then replaces that lap time with a 140.3. So conditions are definitely getting better and the track is improving. The gaps are still quite big, and Reese Max on his first lap into the top 3 on a 40.8. It's all about who is going to be the last to cross the line to start his lap at the very end of this session. 2 minutes remain. It's all about timing it right as Guido Ultimo across the line onto the second row for the Aston Martin. Kelston about to start his lap, hopefully not his last, although that would be best timing as Kainzan at 39.6. Where did that come from? Almost 7 tenths clear. Times are dropping rapidly. At Harris, only 1 minute 20 on the clock. He will be only able to do one more lap after this. Goes to P13. Then we look at the man directly behind him, Daniel. Oh, massive improvement. Goes into the top 3 with a 40.3. L is about to start his final lap with just under a minute remaining. Right behind him is Real Aston Army. Is he on improvement? I think he is. Currently P19 jumps up to P12. Then it's Mike, who is not on improvement. Stays where he is in P14. Basic Beetle has invalidated. Same for F1 XTYZ. Of us starting his final lap. NASCAR's Punisher up to P9, right behind his teammate. And Kelston up to the front row, misses out on provisional pole by just under a tenth of a second. With 11 seconds on the clock, he can still do a lap if he's got the ERS and the fuel for it. As Ghana to the top, 39.4 in the Alpine. Rudok is the first one to get to the checkered flag. P3 it is for him. Kainzan in P2. Then it is Nearly Psycho, not able to improve, stays in P12. Next across the line, Matt Harris up by 2.5 tenths. Won't be enough to get him any higher position at the moment. Across the line, stays in P16. Then it's Daniel, and he is going into the pit lane, although he was up by 4 tenths of a second. But unfortunately he invalidated his lap. And then we look at Real Aston Army, who is not on improvement either. Right behind him, the 2 Mercedes of Mike and Leon. Legends has found the wall, I think. Mike across the line, P13. Then its teammate up by 3.6 seconds across the line. Doesn't improve. Or he does improve, but not his position. Boy has invalidated Reese Max to the top, 39.3. Reese Max is on pole position. Because Gullit is not improving. Unless Kelston can do something about it, but he is not improving either. Is there anyone out there? Boy has invalidated, he will be P8. And that is qualifying concluded, and Reese Max is on pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. For the 139.333 out of absolutely nowhere. What a lap in the end to grab pole position for the Haas team. That was very unexpected. But incredible performance. With Gullit alongside him on the front row. Final one to cross the line. Very well done indeed. And in P3 we've got Kynes on, then it's WA Brewdog, P4, the best of the championship contenders at the moment, if we look at the top 3. Kelston in P5 can gain good points on his teammate. Guido Ultima P6, Daniel P7, Porsche P8, Mr. L P9, though he has that 5-place grid penalty, so he will start P14. The Punisher P10, our championship leader, Wizard of Oz, only P11. Not the qualifying he would have hoped for. Then it's Nearly Psycho, Mike, Real Aston Army, Bahamut Zero, who's got a 5-place grid penalty as well. Our legends Matt Harris, Leon, F1 XDYZ, P19, and Dave Dyke rounding out the grid in P20, having set his best lap time on the full wets. But what a qualifying we have witnessed. It's raining again. Spoiler alert. I'm not sure if it's going to be raining for the entire race. It is from the beginning of the race. Be very common around Singapore on this game. So is Reese Max going to be able to get a good result out of this? Where is he in the championship? P14 only. So that's an incredible result. And Kindson and Porsche Boy starting on intermediates. Now, is that the right decision? I know on this game that inters are quite similar to full wets, even in heavy rainfall. But it still is a risk to follow the inters. We'll see how it's going to work out for them. So dry at the end. Alright, that's changes everything then. Because if you start on the intermediates and you're able to keep up with the full wet drivers at the start, the rain is going to go away. Every driver who's on the full wets is going to have to pit to intermediates or go really long until it's completely dry. So then the intermediate drivers will have a massive advantage by being able to stay out though it does depend on when the rain ends and the dry period comes. Starting inters will be a mistake if it's full wet at the moment. Well, they are going to struggle for grip. They shouldn't have too much of a disadvantage. And if it is going to dry up, yeah, it's going to be interesting. They might have an advantage out of that, so it's a gamble for sure. Can roll either side. Spain. Spain, the Tier X race then. Let's forget about it. Anyway, the 5 red lights are on. And it is lights out and away we go. Very original line, by the way. Reese-Max on pole, but is he going to be able to keep that into turn 1? The Alpine is already alongside, but Reese-Max later on the brakes and a bit of contact between himself and the Alpine and Brudok, who went slightly into the back of the Alpine, but they have survived it coming out of the first couple of corners. Brudok though with a very, very poor exit out of turn 3 as he is sliding about in these conditions. Let's take a look at the tires actually. So Mike and Mistral also have opted for the intermediates, which have also with its strong start so far. Kelson is having a look up the inside of Brudok, wheel to wheel, running the Red Bull a bit wide. Well, now off the inside line, who is going to come out in front? The Sauber will have the advantage now for the next turn on the inside. Still they're going wheel to wheel on this opening lap. Brudok round the outside though with a better line, better acceleration. Still they're going wheel to wheel. Surely not going to go wheel to wheel into this section, and Kelston backs out very cleverly indeed, and is going to have to try again on a later part of the lap, or in a few laps time. Gap now between Brudok and Gullit has grown to 2.6 seconds though. Then we look at Guido Ultimo P5, Daniel P6, Poshboy and Wizard of Oz. So Poshboy is the first one on intermediates. And Keinson has had an absolute mare on the intermediates. Look how far he has dropped behind. While Poshboy is doing a very good job so far on the inters. In fact, he is going for the attack though. Have to be very careful with driving off the racing line. Staying behind, into the back goes the Aston Martin onto the Ferrari. Guido Ultimo a bit too late on the brakes and hits the back of Daniel, and Poshboy says thank you very much. Takes both of the positions up into P5. Wizard of Oz from P10 on the grid has made up 4 places as well to P4. Then it's iLegends almost 3 wide in the background into turn where we are going 3 wide into turn 1. With the Punisher, Guido Ultimo, and is that F1 XTYC. He came from P19 on the grid and look at where he's at. P11 fighting for P10. Brilliant start from the Red Bull driver. Up 8 positions so far in this race. Dave Dyke is into the pit lane, and I wonder if he had front wing damage. Quite tell, but he's put on the intermediates. And the other intermediate runners are still at the back. Keinson from P3 on the grid down to P17, so he had some sort of incident then on the opening lap. But drop him down that much. Anyway, Reese-Max leads this race and he's already building a gap to Gullit in P2. 1 second already, 1.1. As Guido Ultimo has had an incident and he's crashed out and on the bridge. Guido Ultimo has had an incident. He is out of this race and the virtual safety car is deployed. Not the full safety car, the virtual safety car is deployed as the Aston Martin has found the wall on the second lap of this race. It's been a messy start for him so far already. And his race has ended on just the second lap. And we've got a virtual safety car to try and cool down a bit. from that opening phase of this race. Couldn't quite tell what happened then, but they were fighting for position on the narrowest part of the track. Might not be the most clever decision. His teammate, by the way, has got a front wing damage, and our championship leader, Wizard of Oz, has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. He's not the only one. Posh Boy has got a drive-through penalty as well. No way. No way. That is that's gonna cost them. That is gonna cost them massively. Any advantage that Posh Boy had with the intermediates has gone down the drain, because he has gonna have to pit for that drive-through penalty within 3 laps time to serve it, and he will drop all the way to the back of the grid. And the same will be said for our championship leader, Wizard of Oz. Which is great news for the man second in the championship, Kelston, P4 still. And great news as well for the man right ahead of him, P3 in the championship, WA Brewdog. They can gain massive points on the championship leader. However, the race is still very long. We're only on lap 3, anything can happen. And if you watched the tier 3 race yesterday, you will know what I'm talking about. Multiple safety cars, etc. So, the race is definitely not over for either of these two. Got it now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna see these two fighting out for the win at some point in this race. Posh Boy stays out for another lap. Wizard of Oz is gonna serve his penalty immediately at the end of lap 3. And that is gonna drop him down to P17, though in clean air. Meanwhile, at the front end, Reese Max and Khaled still together. The gap has come down to 0.4 of a second. Max still leading after 3 laps of racing. As we've got a first track limit penalty, I'm glad that the race control messages are back at the top of my screen. I didn't have them in the tier 3 race yesterday, which was quite confusing. But, good to have them back. Lightning to the wall, Kynes on in the Williams. No damage done. And wheel to wheel up ahead. This is not a place to go side by side. And they're still trying to go side by side. Don't put your nose into there, please. Leon, as he is gonna have to stay behind the McLaren. And I think he's got front wing damage. He's going very, very slowly to the hairpin. Almost coming to a complete stop there. As the Mercedes runs into the back. And the gap between Bahamut 0 and nearly Psycho in P10 is over 5 seconds already. So Basic Beetle desperately trying to get past there. A lot of time as the entire top 5 sets the fastest lap of the race. So yeah, Posh Boy does have the pace, but unfortunately he's got that drive-through penalty. That is going to spoil the party for him. As F1XTYZ has got a 3-second penalty as well now. Very, very early on, just on lap 5 of this race. If you pass and unpass, you can get the message back. Well, maybe I should have done that yesterday then. Oh well, we learned from it. Thanks for telling me, by the way. Where Kynes on, trying to go up the inside, but Bahamut 0 very late on the brakes. And is able to stay in front while Leon has finally found a way past. And he can now try and close the gap to the cars in front. As it was Daniel who just pitted onto intermediates. As the rain is very much lighter than it was at the start of this race. Inters are going to be the quicker tire. I mean, you can see that with Porsche Boy. He's caught up to the back of the entire top 4. Yellow flags are out. And I'm not sure for who that was. What I do know is that we're going to have a fight for the lead. And Gullit goes a long way around the outside of Rhys Max. And we've got a new race leader in this race. XF Gullit has taken the lead on lap 5. Kelston has got past Brewdog because Brewdog is going into the pit lane. And same for Porsche Boy. He is forced to make, not make a pit stop, but go into the pit lane to serve his penalty. As, oh, it's about to get even worse for F1 XTYZ. 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yep, unfortunately he can't serve it right now. I have to hope for some sort of safety car later on in this race to get that removed. There Brewdog comes out right ahead of Wizard of Oz, though on the intermediate, so he will be quicker. Mr. L sets the fastest lap of the race. The only disadvantage for Brewdog is that he has come out in quite a bit of traffic here. With Mike real Aston Army and Kynes up ahead, sends it up the inside though of Mike. That's an optimistic move, but he gets the job done, I think. Go around the outside here, still going wheel to wheel, side by side on the exit. Puts the pedal down to the floor and he gets the job done around the outside, up into P10. Nice move there to get past the Mercedes. Next up is the Visa Cash App RB of Real Aston Army. Is he going to send it up the inside into the hairpin? Not quite, he's going to stay behind for now. And he cuts underneath, switchback on the exit. It has much more traction, much more grip, and he gets the job done. Nice move, once again. As he slices through the field on his new intermediates. Previous race leader Rhys Max into the pit lane, Kelston as well. Both gonna switch onto a set of intermediates, and it's gonna be interesting to see where they come out compared to WBA Brewdog. Did that traffic cost him? There is Rhys Max, where's Brewdog coming down the straight. He is gonna be ahead of Kelston, which he was already before he pitted, but he is still going to be behind Rhys Max, so he didn't really gain anything with pitting one lap earlier. And Kelston has come out right behind his teammate and championship rival. I wonder if Wizard of Oz is going to make it any difficult for his teammate. Or if he's going to be able to make it difficult, as he's still on the wets. And it certainly doesn't make it difficult at all. Kelston gets past up at the P7, virtually P3 or P4 in this race. Depends on when Gullit pits from the wets. Inters go 18 laps max. That is good to know, but I've been told that it's going to dry up in this race, so they shouldn't have to do 18 laps on the Inters. I will keep an eye out. Ooh, that was very close to the wall. Wizard. Still pushing on his wets. One of 3 drivers to do so. The other 2, Gullit and Legends, and Gullit is staying out. Wets, and so is Legends, so are they gonna go from wets to slicks maybe? Got quite a bit of a gap to the cars behind, so that gap will come down very, very quickly. After all of that, Porsche Boy is still in the lead virtually, though he hasn't made a pit stop yet, but he might not need to make a pit stop before it dries up. As Wizard of Oz finally pits onto intermediates, and he drops down to P16, 17. after that. He's got a massive job to do in this race to try and come back and score some good points. 70% on lap 16, so it's don't last forever. Look now right at the back of Reese Max. Is he going to be able to get past? Must say these tier 5 drivers are holding on quite well to this weather. Already way better than tier 3. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm about to witness a 10 car pileup or something. Another fastest lap of the race. This time for Kainzan. He is one of the other drivers who did not pit. He's now right behind Porsche Boy. The gap between Porsche Boy and Legends is 5.5 seconds. As it stands, Brewdog is right behind. He's Max. Is he going to be able to go for the move? Far back. Reese Max has got little to no ERS left in the battery, and here comes Brewdog. But the Haas covers it up. Was unable to get past. Have to be patient around here. How frustrating that might be. Way to go. "18 seconds. It's the gap between Gullit and Porsche Boy. And Gullit is putting on some impressive laps on these full wets. Must say. And he might actually just pull it off, you know. Going from wets straight to slicks. Yeah, the Inters are faster, but they're not gaining that much on him at all. And Legends finally pulls into the pit lane after 8 laps, 9 laps. Kelston once again the fastest man on track. He is chasing down Brewdog and Reese Max right ahead. And Legends has put on the set of hards. And that is a bit of a questionable decision, I must say, because it is still very much raining. We are gonna see slicks on a wet track. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully not into the wall. It comes out side by side with Leon. He finds out that these slicks do not have to grip. It is probably way too early to make the switch to the slicks. But he's not the only one. Bahamut Zero has put on the hards as well. A bit strange, because it's still very clearly raining. Yeah, apparently they have reason to put on these hards. And that has released Porsche Boy into clean air, which he was already in, to be fair, but the gap between himself and Gullit is now 16 and a bit seconds. Let's see how quickly he's going to be able to get that gap down. Now the fastest lap of the race for Kelston. Into the 139s we go. At the fastest laps. Gullit hasn't gotten under the 43s yet, so if you look at it like that, then they are going to gain multiple seconds per lap. Gonna be tight. 8.8 for Wizard of Oz, although he did pick up a penalty earlier. What has happened to what has happened here then? Reese Max, Keinzon, Kelston and Brewdog have fought it out, and Brewdog and Kelston are up to P3 and P4. Reese Max and Keinzon have dropped down to P5 and 6, and in the top of the screen you just saw it, DRS has been enabled. So is it time to put on the to put on the slicks? It usually is when that message comes on. But it's still raining. It doesn't make sense. But apparently it does. Dave Dyke has put on the slicks as well, as he struggles to make it out of the pit lane, just like everyone else seen so far who has put on the slicks. Here we got a nice comparison. Legends on the hards, Wizard of Oz on the inters. He is quicker. I'm completely missing the fight at the front, and Porsche Boy has pulled the block and he's going to go into the pit lane. Same for Kelston and Keinzan and Daniel. F1XTYZ! Huh? Disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Yeah, what the hell was that? He hit the wall and then was stuck or something. Surely that's a glitch in the game, but that is unfortunate to say the least. But what the hell happened there then? Lovely game, I must say, as everyone pits onto the set of hearts, but that is massive in the constructors fight, because one of the Red Bull drivers is out of absolutely nowhere. Very unlucky indeed. And I'm gonna say, got it. Well, what a masterclass he's put on. 12 seconds out in front, while everyone is spinning onto slicks. He might as well do it as well this lap. He's gonna have a 12-second margin to P2. Here we go then into the pit lane, our race leader. Brewdog, Reese Max, the Punisher, Native Psycho, and Real Aston Army will probably follow on this lap, as they sure do. Hearts go on to the Alpine, Hearts go on to the Red Bull, and probably go on to the Haas as well. Matt Harris has gone to mediums, and he is the only one so far. As Native Psycho continues on while losing 4 positions in one corner. It's a massive fight out in front, almost 3 wide into turn 1. Legends on the outside, then it's Porsche Boy and Kelston, as Brewdog comes out of the pit lane, losing a lot of positions down to P8. He is on track. Legends is in P3, he is on course to podium positions at the moment. But there is Porsche Boy up the inside and he gets past. Nice move now. Kelston is going to have a look around the outside. It's tricky to go around the outside. Almost gets squeezed into the wall. Loses control. The Haas there, and Kelston can go around the outside, or he can't. Bit of contact between the two. And now it's Keinzon having a go up the inside. Go side by side into this one. Kelston backs out of it, fortunately. And he's have to sit back in P6 for now. And retry another lap. Reese Max in P8, our pole sitter, has dropped down quite a few positions. As the Punisher finally goes into the pit lane as well. It was an Alpine 1-2 for a brief moment. But now he finally pulls into the pit lane to put on the slicks. And it will be the mediums. Nearly Psycho into the pit lane as well. Probably do the same. Yep, mediums go on to the Ferrari as well. Lap times are going to start dropping. Mr. L sets the fastest lap of the race. He's up into P9. And the Wizard of Oz trying to go around the outside, but goes into the wall. No, keeps it out of the second wall there, but very nearly from crashing out of this race. As Bahamut Zero has retired in pit lane, marking our third retirement of this race. That was very, very close, as Wizard of Oz does get past Leon, who is having a still look up the inside. Contact between the two, and Leon gets spun around. That's from a bit too far back though. Got it now with a 10-second lead as we near the halfway point of this race. On to lap 15 we go. A massive fight at the moment for P3. Our legends all out of shape, coming out of the chicane. But, well, doesn't give Kelston any chance of overtaking. And the Sauber is now under pressure from Brewdog from behind. Up the inside goes the Red Bull. Trying to get past wheel to wheel through turns 1, 2 and 3. Kelston able to keep it round the outside. Wheel to wheel once again to the next turn. And the Sauber is going to stay in front. Or is he still going wheel to wheel between these two? And we're gonna make it 3 wide almost into the next turn. Kelston is able to stay in front. Here comes Daniel up the inside of Brewdog, and they both go off. And through goes Vries Max up to P6. As it's a bit of a mess at the moment here in this fight. Brewdog lets the Ferrari by. Very sportingly from him. But unfortunately does drop down to P8. Oh, Kelston and Vries Max collide. And they are both into the wall, as it was the Haas up the inside. They locked wheels and straight into the wall, and Leon is out. Safety car is deployed. What is going on? It's all kicked off on lap 15. Ooh. That was quite a lap. Was it? Not sure what's going on between these two. Really unhappy with each other. Rightfully so. And they're both gonna have to pit. It says virtual safety car again, but I can assure you it is a full safety car. Into the pit lane goes Legends, into the pit lane goes Brewdog, into the pit lane goes Kelston, and into the pit lane goes Vries Max into the back as well of the Sauber. Calm down, Nate. No rush under safety car conditions. The entire top 4 has decided to stay out, and this is awful news for Khaled. He had a 10-second lead. And it's come down to, well, absolutely nothing. As I said, the top 4 stayed out on the hards. Everyone else behind has gone on to mediums. They are going to have a massive advantage with the tires. Laps remaining. Vries Max going from hero to zero quite quickly in this race. Was on pole position, but now it's down in P11. An incident. Vries Max didn't turn, yeah. it did look like that. Going straight. Gilston was trying to make the corner, trying to turn in. Yeah, and in the end, he made contact. Both sent off into the wall. Luckily they didn't lose too much positions wise. It does hurt their race. Good, so our championship leader, Wizard, he scored a 3-second penalty. Dyke and Dave Dyke. He is in P13 after that, back in the points. The championship rivals currently P9 and P7, so lose too much at this stage. It indeed is back in the race, but what? Lost an army? What happened there? A handful of positions. It did gain Wisterval's a position, to be honest. P12 it is. But yeah, that 3-second penalty, it will hurt him. But he can fight again. Show why he is the championship leader. I was pushed on the wall, so yeah, but didn't do it on his own then Guido Alto. Early on in this race, on the second lap, they were going side by side through the most narrow part of the track, which never ends well. Didn't in this case either, so that is very unlucky, as safety car probably going to go in at the end of this lap. But it will lead the way ahead of yeah, the top 4 on hards, everyone else on mediums except for Real Aston Army. That is going to be interesting as well. Safety car in his lap. Don't tell me Matt Howard just got a 3-second time penalty under safety car for track limits. That's... yeah, I think he knows what that is, but... anyway, but it will decide the pace. 13 laps to go, and here we go for green flag racing for the second time in this race. Or third time if you count the VSC, but here we go. Lap 19 of 31. Gerrit leads ahead of Poshboy, Kainzon and Daniel. Those 4 are on the hards. Everyone else has the tire advantage. And iLegends is already looking to get past the Ferrari. Having a look around the outside, round the outside, round the outside he goes with a better exit on the outside. We'll turn it to the inside for the next turn. And that is a very nice move for Legends up to P4. Has got past the Ferrari already then. As Brudok having a look up the inside of the Punisher. And the Red Bull driver has got past up into P6. As we see Gilston fighting it out with Nearly Psycho. Going into the wall as we go 3 wide into this turn. Yeah, that's not gonna work. And Wizard of Oz says thank you very much. He's up to P10. And Mr. L has lost a lot of positions because of that. Down to P14. Reese Max now down to 11th. And Wizard of Oz, he's now right behind his teammate. Although he goes very, very deep into the hairpin. But the exit is still good enough to keep him in front of Reese Max as Brewdog. Another position gained. P5. He is following Legends through. We go on to lap 20. Oh, Legends with a 3-second time penalty. That has ruined his chances of winning this race, and his teammates got a penalty as well. All sorts of penalties. In one corner, DRS has been re-enabled. So Porsche Boy is going to have a go, I reckon, at the Alpine, as Brewdog has lost the position again. Down to P6. For using all of his ERS that he absolutely does not have. Has half a look up the inside, but decides to stay behind. Fortunately, just a bit too far behind. And the 2 Saubers going wheel to wheel, and Wizard of Oz gets past his teammate. And he's now up into P9. Will have to drive away by 3 seconds though, to actually finish ahead of his teammate. Oh, that's a late launch at the inside. It was not gonna work. It was not gonna work. It was just a bit too late. And Ferrari just turns into the corner as Wizard of Oz lets his teammate by. Reese Max into the back of Kelston. Way too late on the brakes. And I wonder, well, I don't wonder anymore. Wizard of Oz has got damage to his front wing. Ooh, that's a big mistake in his race. He is going to stay out though. He's not going to come into the pit lane. Legends, in the meanwhile, has got past Kainzon up into P3. And then we look at Brewdog up the inside of the Ferrari into turn 1. Still not quite able to get past. Porsche Boy is still not able to get past Guddet in P1 either, and Guddet's not able to build a gap to the cars behind. And Legends is now very, very close to the back of these two. Has got Kainzon for company. Bit of contact, and oh, Porsche Boy on the exit of the hairpin with the help of DRS is going to try and go for the lead. The Alpine still has half a look up the inside, but Porsche Boy has taken the lead of this race on lap 21. We've got a new race leader in this race, Daniel and Kainzon going wheel to wheel as well for P4, and the Williams is able to stay in front of the Ferrari for just a while longer. So Kainzon still having a look around the outside as Brewdog got a penalty as well. That is going to hurt his chances of winning this race. It's well, the best medium runner at the moment without a penalty is Nearly Psycho in P8. So Porsche Boy might just be able to fight for this race win on the hards. Together with Gullit. Unless Legends is able to get past quickly and then building a 3-second gap. But that is very difficult to do around here. especially with everyone in such close contention. Dave Dyke has pitted for a new set of softs. 9 laps to go. Looking to get past the Ferrari up ahead. He's been stuck behind him for quite a few laps already. Just not able to get past. Now then on the exit, around the outside with the DRS, now he does get past. Here's the Ferrari, and that is P8 for Kelston. To lap 23. 9 laps to go. Is it going to be Poshboy or is it going to be Gullit as Wizard of Oz has got another penalty and is pulled into the pit lane? While Kelston is going wheel to wheel with Punisher while the championship leader is retired from this race. There's contact between Kelston and Nearly Psycho as the Sauber has also made contact with the Alpine in front while trying to overtake Wizard of Oz out of this race. Despite being in a point scoring position. Can't really do that in a championship fight, mate, but he has decided to retire from this race. So there's once again contact between Reece Max and Kelston. Reece Max just brake a bit earlier, mate. Still a massive train covering the top 6. Just a bit of a gap then to the Punisher in P7. Alpine are looking at a very strong result today. They are dead last in the combined constructors. But they might score a lot of points today. Also last in the Tier 5 constructors, by the way, by quite a bit. And as I say that, the Punisher gets a 3-second time penalty. That is wonderful. Kelston having a look once again. Does decide to stay behind now. Try and get past on the next straight. Oh, just got back underneath. Bit close there between himself and the Alpine has lost him a lot of momentum, and Reece Max trying to have a go. Also now up the inside. Once again, will to win, he does get past. Reece Max gets past as well. The Alpine losing a few positions down to P10 as Nearly Psycho has got past. That created a bit of clean air for the Sauber to try and chase after Brewdog, although he doesn't really have to because Brewdog has got a 3-second penalty. And currently he is within that 3-second margin. Heinzson has got past Legends. Sparta Medium's already dropping off underneath the Haas. The 8 laps so far on the Stars, and he's dropped out of the DRS range of the Williams. Oh, Posh Boy, 3-second time penalty. You can't use that when fighting for the race win. And that is some great news for Gullit. Basically being handed the victory at this point, although he has got Heinzson behind him. And these two are without a penalty. Fighting it out. And Gullit trying to go around the outside, wheel to wheel. With Poshboy goes around the outside, nice move, gets the job done and retakes the lead on lap 25 of this race. Reece Max up the inside of Nearly Psycho, And now we've got the Punisher up the inside of the Ferrari, wheel to wheel. The Alpine has got past, almost going into the wall there. But he's up into P9. And that is Porsche Boy losing another position, down to P3. The Williams driver has got past as well. Just within DRS range of Khalid. 0.8 of a second. Six laps to go in this race. It's going to be between Khalid and Kainzan for the race win. As we see Daniel having a look up the inside of Legends, very little space to work with. It goes around the outside, Brewdog around the outside of both of them, and there's contact between the three of them, and 3 into 1 just does not go as they fight it out on a narrow piece of track. And Brewdog, is he going to perform the double overtake? Contact between himself and Legends, and both into the wall. Oh, that was not going to work. And that's very unfortunate, and this is terrible news for Red Bull in the constructors. We got all sorts of fighting going on here between the two Hasses and Nearly Psycho, Mike and the Punisher. L right there as well. He could gain quite a few positions, as he is one of the few drivers without a penalty. What has happened to Kainzan? He is back in P3 and 1.5 seconds behind Porsche Boy. Suddenly it's become one-man fight for this race win, as Khalid is back into the lead, as he was a few laps ago, and without a penalty can just let Porsche Boy pass, although wouldn't take that risk if the V-Cup driver was able to remove his penalty, but hasn't got a lot of pressure on him right now. And looking at this massive fight for P6 in this race. Yellow flags are out. Looks like Davis had an issue in the final corner. Bit of contact between the two Haas drivers. 10-second penalty for Dave, and he's retired from the session as Legends make contact with Nearly Psycho, who gets pushed back in the right direction. No, don't go 3 wide. Don't go 3 wide. How did that go well, wheel to wheel, through this part of the track? That's well, Max ahead of his team at Legends. That is a send up the inside and contact between the Punisher and Mr. L. And the Punisher is left facing the wall here. The hairpin, and down to P13 he goes. Dave Dyke, retirement number 6. Despite being in a points scoring position once again. A few laps to go. Oh, Kainzan has had an issue. He was ghosted for a few seconds. He was. Is Porsche Boy gonna have a go at Khalid once again? DRS and ERS is closing the gap, closing round the outside. Is trying to perform the switchback. Just can't quite get the traction right. Stay behind for now. And Mike has had an issue coming out of turn 4. Losing 2 positions down to P10. Kicked off in this race. Reese Max and Matt Harris pitting onto a set of soft to try and get the faster tap in the race, even though they won't get points for it, as they are not inside the top 10. 3 laps to go. I take back everything that I said about David Icke retiring from the race, as he's got. So. Meanwhile, Gullit. Have to look in his mirrors. Here comes Posh Boy again, trying to go a long way around the outside. And we go wheel to wheel, and it's turning to the inside line for the next turn. Posh Boy now on the outside again. Is he going to be able to make that stick? They don't really have to fight it out, as the vehicle driver has got a penalty, sticking his nose in and just about avoids contact with the wall. Three-way fight for the win on these final few laps, and in the end Carlston will take P4, and that is going to get him the championship lead after today. Boy having half a look up the inside on the penultimate lap of this race. As long as Gullit is able to stay ahead of Posh Boy, then he's pretty much got the win in the bag, because there's still a car in between himself and Kainzan, who is the other driver without a penalty. That is all he has to do right now. And Posh Boy up the inside of a corner where you really can't try and go for it, and through goes Kainzan with a double overtake contact between Gullit and Posh Boy, and Gullit is down to second place, and Kainzan out of absolutely nowhere has taken the lead on the penultimate lap of this race. He didn't really need to do anything as the top two went off, and Kainzan is your new race leader with an 8-10 gap to Gullit, who has been leading this race for most of the race, but on the penultimate lap, losing out to that lead after contact with Posh Boy. And I think that the gap between himself and Kainzan is a little bit too big to try and re-overtake. Kelston in the meantime has got past Posh Boy as well. Posh Boy drops down to P4 and will finish P5 even with the penalty. He's got front wing damage as well for good measure. Final lap of this race, 7/10 is the gap between Kainzan and Gullit. Is there anything the Alpine driver can do? Not with an exit like that. See, slides out of turn 4. Williams driver got the ERS advantage as well, just needs to keep it on the track. That's all he has to do on this final lap. Flags on the final lap, but that doesn't matter to Kainzan around the penultimate corner and into the final corner, where Kainzan is gonna win the Singapore Grand Prix of Tier 5. Kainzan wins for Williams. Gullit in the end has to take second place after leading for most of this race. Kelston in the end gets the podium position after everything he's been through in this race. Daniel in P4, Poshboy has to settle for 5th place, ahead of Nearly Psycho, really good result as well. Mr. L in 7th, I Legends in P8. Will it become P9, but Real Russian Army won't. Real Russian Army finishes P9, and WM Brewdog was the one who had a moment in on the final lap. He will finish P10 only. Unfortunately, the Punisher P11. Mike P will finish in P12, and then we wait for a while for Reese Max to cross the line, as Boschboy has already left the session. Please do that next time after the race has finished, as it messes up the race results. And Harris will be the last to cross the line in P14. But what a race that was then, and Kainzan was there when he needed to be. Right place, right time. In the end, he is the man on the top step of the podium, the winner of the Singapore Grand Prix. And that is the end of this race. Here are the final results. Rich Max did in the end get the fast lap of the race. He won't get a point though for it. He will only get 1 point for his pole position and a few for his P12 finish. So these are your final results. Boschboy will of course be P5. 6 retirements. F1 XTYZ, Guido Ultimo Bahamut 0, Leon Wizard of Oz, and Dave Dyke. And if you're listening, I am very sorry for your loss, and my deepest condolences. Anyway, that's it then for tonight. This time I will be back in a few weeks' time, instead of just one day, as this was the final race of this week. That's it for tonight. Thank you all for tuning into this race, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I will see you for voice commentary in the new year in January. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.